Is slow. It was frozen there for a minute. Hey guys, how's it going? Just gonna get some oils to start me off here. This is Arise. This is one of the new yoga oils, which I just absolutely adore. I think it might be safe to say that it's the favorite, but I love all of them very, very much. These are already in a coconut oil base, so I know that I'm getting maximum absorption, and I always like to put that over my heart, my wrists, basically all my pulse points, right? My temples, the back of my neck, that occipital lobe. It's my little kitty wandering around. It's so beautiful. It's citrusy and light and Arise. It's the enlightening blend, right? It's delightful. Okay, so one of the topics that was requested that we chat about this week was lifelong vitality. So I'm super thrilled. Super thrilled. I am so super thrilled to share about this today. I have been taking the supplements for at least a year, and I've been really diligent and consistent with them for at least, I would say, 9 or 10 months, because I started to notice a really big difference. In the beginning, I kind of toyed around with them a little bit. I would take, like 1 a day or, 2 a day and see how I felt. And then I started to understand the power in these supplements, so I started being very intentional about taking them regularly. And it's mind-blowing, you guys. If you've never taken a really high-quality supplement, this is going to blow your mind, and it's going to change your entire life. It's going to elevate everything in your world, right? Because when our body has what it needs, when we are filled, to the brim, our capacity for what we need on a daily basis is met, everything in our life gets better, right? It makes it easier to do the things we need to do. We have more energy, more vitality. We feel amazing. Our mood is better. That's a huge one. The nutrition that our body has plays such an integral role in our mood. And I think it's something that's often overlooked. And until you really start paying attention to your body's nutritional needs, it's really easy to overlook what a huge difference that makes. And once you've felt it, there's no going back. Your body won't let you. And your tolerance for what amazing feels like versus not so good, it increases. So you are more sensitive to when your body is dipping low. And we all do it. I'm not perfect. Even though I take the supplements, like by no means do I live day to day with perfect nutritional boundaries, but by far the majority of the time I'm above average in that field, right? And that's why I feel amazing. That's why I feel light and content and peaceful, and I have the energy to do the things that I want to do, and I have the mental stamina to focus and to prioritize and complete tasks the way that I want to, the way that is important for me, especially in building our business. So if you haven't seen them before, this is doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack. Okay, we've got the Microplex, which is your daily nutritional supplement. They're all daily, but your E-Omega, this is like your multivitamin formula. The E-Omega or Z-Omega, this comes in a vegan version as well. So this is our omegas and fish oils, or in the vegan version, algae extracts. And the Cellular Vitality Complex. This is the money. This is like the big time heavy hitter in the 3, and it actually costs as much on its own, almost. I believe it's $75 US on its own, and this entire trio, if you order it on your LRP, is only $85 US. Mind-blowing, guys. Mind-blowing. If you were to buy all of the supplements that you find in here, very high quality supplements, which are what these are. They are the absolute optimal quality, it would cost you well over $250 to match everything that is in this trio. So doTERRA has made this incredibly affordable on purpose. If you look at their wellness pyramid, the foundation of any person's health and wellness is eating right, right? And with that comes supplementation, because no matter how well we eat, we're not going to be able to meet all of our body's needs on a daily basis. So let's jump into that. First of all, I'm going to take mine because I just ate breakfast, and you're supposed to take them with food. That is ideal. And the dosage is 2 capsules in the morning and 2 capsules in the evening. So if you've never taken a supplement, which I hadn't before I started taking these, at least not regularly, 6 pills might feel like a lot. And I love what Dr. Hill said. He said, you're going to be taking pills one way or the other. Either you're going to be taking them as a preventative, or you're going to be taking them to try to cure what ails you. So this is definitely the better route. I do 2 at a time. I was never really good at swallowing pills, but you get better with practice. The other thing that it is worth noting is that these supplements are incredibly bioavailable, which is really important. If you go to the drugstore and you're buying like Centrum and all these other different products, typically they're really low quality ingredients and they're not in a format that is readily absorbed by your body. So on the label it might look good, but your body's not actually able to absorb those nutrients. So you're just wasting your money, right? It's really, really important that they're in a whole food format, and they are, the nutrients that we're after, they're paired with the items that they occur with naturally, because that's how our body recognizes them and can assimilate, okay? So we want a really high assimilation, really high bioavailability, really high absorption rate. If you don't know anything about the Lifelong Vitality line, we're going to start right at the beginning. The tagline for Lifelong Vitality is live younger, longer. So that's the goal, right? We want to feel young, we want to feel vibrant, we want to feel full of energy, and we want to increase our lifespan. And we want to minimize the amount of time that we spend in our life with chronic disease, right? So that actually is increasing. Even though our lifespan is increasing, the period that we spend living with chronic diseases has been increasing. And what taking a high quality supplement like Lifelong Vitality does is it decreases drastically the amount of time that we will spend with chronic disease. All right, so the number one most, I guess, crucial factor in whether you will continue taking a supplement or not is whether you can feel a difference, right? So a lot of supplements are geared towards increasing that lifespan, but if you're not feeling a difference on a daily basis, it's unlikely that you're going to continue. So when they designed these supplements, that was one of the key factors, is ways that they could very healthy, in a very healthy way, very naturally, increase our daily energy and vitality and vibrance without any destructive ingredients, okay? So there is no caffeine in these supplements whatsoever. There are no stimulants, and that's really important because that's the cheap way that a lot of supplement lines get you that, you know, energetic burst, and it's very destructive to our body. So that's not what we're after. We're after actually supporting the body's nutritional needs so that it functions healthy, and that's why we feel that energy and that vibrance. We have the resources within us that we need. So what are some of the things that make us feel old? For most people, it's a lack of energy and it's increased aches and pains, right? The achiness. And pain is just a perception of a cellular response that we know as inflammation. So when our cells, have oxidation, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, we experience that as inflammation. And those are cellular signals that are being sent within our body to alert us that things are not going well. And they're signals that we need to tune into, right? We need to pay attention. They're there for a reason. And we can moderate that. The other thing is that as we age, and I'm 32 right now, I'll be 33 in a couple of months, you definitely start to notice changes in your body. and my computer's going on standby. Sorry about that. We start to notice changes in our body, and the rate at which things start to deteriorate actually accelerates. So we want to slow that process down. We want to give our body all of the resources that we can to minimize the disruptions and the discomforts. The number one source of discomfort and inflammation in our cells are free radicals. And you've probably heard this term, right? You've got free radicals and you've got antioxidants. So we're going to talk a little bit more about how those factors influence our health and energy on a daily basis and our pain. Free radicals, what are they? They are unstable molecules that steal electrons from other stable molecules. So what ends up happening is this chain reaction where the free radicals in our system, which come from both internal and external sources, they steal molecules from these stable molecules, and they create this chain reaction which leads to oxidation in our cells, which can damage DNA, and it stresses out our cells, right? It produces cellular stress. So the sources of free radicals, like I said, both internal, hi babe, both internal and external. External sources, sunlight even, pollution, toxins, those are the big ones, okay? Internal, this is actually the greater source of free radicals within our bodies, and they are produced as mitochondria, so the energy factories within each of our cells. Every cell has mitochondria, and interesting side note, the cellular DNA in mitochondria has actually remained the same throughout your entire lineage on your mother's side. So the mitochondrial DNA can be traced back through your entire human history. It's passed down through generations of women. Really, really cool. Side note. But the mitochondria are the engines of our cells, and they're what produce ATP. You probably remember this from high school science class, right? Adenosine triphosphate. ATP is what fuels our cells, all of our actions and energy and movement on a daily basis. It is an integral, vital component that we couldn't live without. It's happening all the time. But just like a car, consuming gasoline, our mitochondria give off an exhaust. So the byproduct of these cellular respiration, the cellular respiration that's taking place, are the free radicals. And the free radicals damage and stress our cells, and they actually affect the DNA within the nucleus of the cell, which is pretty important, right? So when our cells are replicating and they're figuring out, what their job is, you might have heard of stem cells. Stem cells are the cells before they've been assigned a job within the body, so they haven't been specialized yet. And the DNA is what codes those cells. Okay, so it's very, very important. We don't want to stress our cells. We certainly don't want to stress the DNA in our cells, and DNA can become damaged, it can become garbled, it can become miswritten, and those are all not good for us. And you may have heard me talk about this with essential oils before. Essential oils actually work on a cellular level. They can slip into the cell without any energy exchange, which is amazing, okay, because even nutrition, even like sugar and nutrients, vitamins, our cells have to expend energy in order to bring those inside the cell to fuel activity. Essential oils are tiny enough that they can actually just slip right in, and essential oils repair our DNA. Okay, they repair this damaged and miswritten DNA. They can actually reset it back to factory settings. So your phenols, monoterpenes, and sesquiterpenes, they all play a different role. Phenols go in and clean the cell membrane, which is responsible for communication, and we touch on that. Monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes, they go in and they repair the damaged or miswritten DNA, and monoterpenes, like frankincense, they're the ones that go in and they reset our cells to their factory settings, to their proper settings. Okay, so just a little side note there. So what we want to do ultimately when we're supplementing and when we're bringing food into our body is we want to minimize the oxidative and cellular stress. And when we don't keep that in check, it creates this chronic burn and inflammation within our cells, and that speeds the aging process, and that's what leads to all of the discomforts that we start to feel as we're aging. And it happens to all of us in all of our cells all the time, which sounds pretty depressing, right? But nature never produces a problem without producing a solution. So, of course, the solution to free radicals and the oxidative stress and the inflammation are antioxidants. We love antioxidants, right? And you've probably heard of the foods that are like the antioxidant superheroes, right? Pomegranates, blueberries, things like that. It's worth noting that clove oil, clove essential oil, is actually the highest known source of antioxidants in the food world. So pomegranates, blueberries, things like that, they have like hundreds of thousands of antioxidant in the scale. So it's the ORAC scale. Hundreds of thousands. Clove essential oil rates in the millions. It is an amazing antioxidant, and of course, that's one of the ingredients in the E omega. Okay, so we've got antioxidants from a number of different categories in these supplements, and we're coming at it from all different angles. We're providing our body with a lot of diverse resources to handle these free radicals. So ATP is the natural byproduct of the cellular respiration, and the solution, sorry, that was miswritten. Free radicals are the natural byproduct of the cellular respiration, and the solution is antioxidants. So antioxidants actually have spare electrons. So when they lose an electron, they share freely electrons with these free radicals, right, that are out stealing them. Antioxidants have spare ones. So when they give these electrons to the free radicals, they're not unstable. They're not made unstable. They're still whole. They're still functioning. They're not oxidizing. And just like the free radicals, antioxidants have external and internal sources. So our external sources of antioxidants are food, right? So fruits and veggies. Milkshakes, not really high in antioxidants, but fruits and veggies, we want to eat the rainbow, right? The more colorful, bright foods we're eating, the more antioxidants we're bringing into our body. And the internal, the production of certain classes of these antioxidants come from what our body produces, what our body naturally produces. So glutathione is one that gets a lot of attention. It's an integral antioxidant within our cells, and we'll talk about that. The milk thistle in CRS actually helps the body produce its own glutathione. So it increases in the liver, it increases the production of glutathione, or supports the increase of production of glutathione. So it's supporting the body's own natural processes to combat this oxidative stress. So the food that we eat is one of the best investments that we can make, right? Lots of fruits and veggies, and then high quality supplementation, right? Because guys, even if we're eating tons of fruits and vegetables on a daily basis, even if our diet was completely perfect, unfortunately, our fruits and veggies are not nutritionally sufficient, right? They're void of a lot of nutrition, and that comes from, you know, poor soil and poor farming techniques and things like that. Organic is better, which is why a lot of people, if they can, should eat organic. But we still need a supplement to round out what's missing, right? Because our diets are not perfect. We're humans, and you know, some of our diets are more lacking than others. And even myself, I eat really well a lot of the time, but I fall off the wagon, right? I like to eat ice cream and chips, and sometimes that's all I want. I don't feel like eating a green smoothie. I try to anyway, but it doesn't always happen. So when you're taking a high quality supplement line, you don't have to worry as much, and you're not going to feel all icky and tired and have those aches and pains even when you're not eating right. You'll still feel it, but it's not going to be as big of a difference. So the Lifelong Vitality, they call it a super antioxidant cocktail, and it has, like I said, a number of different classes of these very powerful antioxidants, and these are external sources, so plant-derived, food-based sources, again, because we want them to be really bioavailable, so we don't want them synthetically produced. So the milk thistle, like I said, regulates glutathione in the liver, and that's one of the most important antioxidants used by our cells constantly. The essential oil blend in the Z omega, as I mentioned, which comes in a vegan form, so you don't have to have the fish oil in there. That's one of the most powerful antioxidants that we have available to us. And the sum of the antioxidant power in that bottle, in one dose, one daily dose, so 4 capsules, 2 in the morning, 2 at night, is equivalent to 12 servings of fruits and vegetables. And that's huge, especially because the assimilation and the bioavailability is so high, right? If a bottle had that in it, but you weren't using it, your body wasn't absorbing it, doesn't really do you any good, right? So, in closing, we're just about to sum this up at 20 minutes, not too bad. And there goes my computer again. It's like, yeah, hurry up. The lifelong vitality is our insurance policy, okay? That is how we protect our body from the oxidative stress, from the chronic inflammation and pain and degeneration of our cells and damaged DNA that occurs with all cellular function and activity. And that lowers our defensive response to all that we know as inflammation. That's it, guys. So that's part one, okay? I'm going to hop back on and we're going to dive more into the nutritional side of the lifelong vitality. But let's close it off by saying that is the reason that we need lifelong vitality. We're going to talk more about omegas and the balance there and how that relates to the health of our cells, our bodies, and our overall vitality.